Right, so this is a short video on different blaze bed techniques, how to do them, where to do them, and also when you don't have a bed available, how to mine out the blocks as a backup, and also just a little bit of strategy on how to do blaze fights as well. So there's some very important statistics behind how important it is to blaze bed in a run. So here you can see on screen, these numbers are the chance of getting 6 rods in under 60 seconds. So if you haven't mined a single block in the spawner, there's only a 2.89% chance of getting 6 rods in under a minute. So that's, a horrendous statistic. If you've only mined out the floor and not the walls of the spawner, so if all you've done is mine out these blocks, which you'll see a lot of runners commonly do, if that's all you've done, then it's a 7.7% chance, which, it's still not very good when you look at these other numbers. So if you frontside blaze bed, which I'll get into in a moment, 10.18%, a full enclosed blaze bed, which is when the spawner is underground and you do a full blaze bed, 10.36, and then add an open spawner like one of these, or an open spawner like that, where it's all open on every side. If you do a full blaze bed there as well, if you've cleared out every single block, you've got a 19.10% chance of getting 6 rods in under 60 seconds. So with that in mind, it's very obvious that we should be blaze bedding on every single spawner. So let's get into that. Alright, so in these open fortresses, at these open spawners, it can be a bit harder to do a blaze bed since the blazes, when you're fighting them and everything, they can fly off the edges or you can knock them off the sides. So we can't break every block around it, otherwise it gets kind of unmanageable. Although there is a strategy which I'll get to in the next one. It's blaze bed type. So what I recommend and what a lot of people do at these spawners is you walk up, place a nether brick against this side of the spawner, so up the steps, you place it against the spawner like this. Place the bed like this, so the pillow is behind a nether brick. You stand behind the spawner and break the bed by right clicking. Clear out the fire as soon as possible, and then what's happened is you've cleared out a lot of these side walls here. These walls on the side, and you've cleared out a lot of the floor as well. So once you've done that, clear out the rest of the side walls, clear out the floor, and then your strategy in this blaze fight is going to be to stand on the edges of the spawn, of the fortress like this, and you want to knock the blazes back towards the back wall or towards the spawner, just making sure that they don't fall off the sides. You don't want to be attacking the blazes like this, otherwise they're going to fall down. It's going to be hard to get their rods. You want to be knocking the blazes towards the spawner, towards the back wall that you've left up. Alright, so that was frontside blaze bedding, when the fortress is very open, when there's a whole lot of lava or just a big drop on each side of the spawner. You want to be doing that frontside bed that I just did. But in these kind of underground fortresses where the spawner is encased in the wall like this, we can do very comfortably what's called either a full bed or a full blaze bed or a high bed. So I'll go into both of those. So what I'll show now is the full blaze bed. So go in, kill your blazes, and what you don't want to do is place the nether brick on top of the spawner. And then you run up right against the spawner like this, facing this, steer straight up, place the bed and right click. Sometimes this is going to happen, not a big deal. Just break the lava. You want to get rid of the fire as soon as possible. It's a lot easier in survival mode than in creative mode. You can just hold left click and just fly your mouse around. You want to clear out all of these ground blocks. You want to prioritize these middle ones first, actually. But, so what that's done is it's cleared out this back wall as well. It's cleared out all of the side walls. It's cleared out a whole lot of the ground. And then we just had to take out these middle ones and these ones on the side here. So the benefit of this over the high bed, which I'm going to show now, is that it's fast. You run up, place the brick on top, look straight up and double right click. It's super fast, and then you can just clear out the other blocks in the fire. After that, you do actually want to get up on these walls, and you do want to punch out a lot of these fires. These ones aren't as important, but some of these ones that are quite close to the spawning area, you do want to punch out the fires. You can not only do the full blaze bed at the underground spawners, but also if you've got ground very close on each side of the spawner like this and behind the spawner as well. If the ground's really close like this, it's not going to be the end of the world if the blazes fall off the platform onto the sides. You're still going to be able to kill them, you're still going to be able to pick up their rods. So at these spawners you can also just set up the full blaze bed, only it's slightly different. You're going to have to build the roof for yourself. So you're going to place the one nether brick on top of the spawner and then one against that. You're going to jump up, place the bed so that the pillow is above that nether brick, and then again you can just run against the spawner holding W, look straight up and explode. And that's going to clear out the same blocks. Only the benefit of this is that a lot of the blocks on the sides are going to be cleared out. Which is to our benefit. We want as many blocks in 4 blocks in every direction we want to clear out, because that's all of the valid spawning spaces for the blazes. 4 blocks in every direction, including diagonally. Another way you can do full blaze bedding is with the high bed. So Frontside and full blaze bed were found by myself, but the high bed was found by NinjaBrain, which is just a slight variation on the full blaze bed. It takes a little more processing of the terrain. It's not as fast, but it clears out a lot more of the blocks at once, which is really good. So what you do is you run in, kill the blazes, place the nether brick on top of the spawner like usual, but instead of looking straight up and double right clicking, what you're going to do is look straight up, break that block, break the one behind it, and the one behind that as well. Place the bed, don't explode it yet, climb down the steps, jump up one, place another block. It doesn't need to be nether brick, it can be anything for this specific block, and then explode the bed. You can see for this one, cleared out these middle blocks. The middle blocks are really important for the blazes to spawn. So it's really good that the high bed clears out these middle blocks as soon as possible. And then all you need to do is punch out the fires, and you're in time. You can punch out these other, break these other blocks as well. And then again, you want to get up in the walls. Any of the fires that are too close to the spawning spaces, you want to get rid of ones like this. So those ones don't really matter, but these ones close to the spawning spaces you do want to get rid of. Alright, so here's another one of the really good full blaze bed spawners. So it's got the terrain on each side and also the back of the spawner, so it's really nice to full blaze bed on these ones instead of front side. Again, the only point of front side is to keep the back wall, so you can kind of knock blazes against the back of it. But in these ones where, if a blaze fell off, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It'd actually be really quite easy to still kill the blazes and get the rods. You do still want to full blaze bed at these spawners. So again, same process. Kill the first set of blazes that spawn, but this time I'm going to do the high bed. So rather than just doing a full blaze bed in a semi-open spawner like this, rather than doing this with a pillow on top of that, you're going to place another block on top of this one and then a block against that. Jump, place the bed, break the 2 blocks underneath it. climb up, down the stairs again, up one, any kind of block, and then that clears out a lot of the blocks. There are only 2 spaces in the middle, or 2 blocks in the middle that had to be broken, rather than the usual 8 at a full blaze bed. And again, the first thing you do, as soon as you blaze bed, you need to start punching out the fires as soon as possible, because every fire interrupts with spawning. So always prioritize punching out the fires before breaking out the blocks. Alright, so here's another fully open spawner. You can see on every side of the spawner, it's just a straight drop down to lava, or it's just, you know, a really far fall. So I definitely recommend at these spawners you just run in and do that first blaze bed, the front side blaze bed, where you place the nether brick against the spawner pillow like that. Definitely recommend just front siding this, but if you're trying to absolutely maximize your runs, and you know you're going for world record attempts, that kind of thing, you still want to actually full blaze bed these spawners, because you need to, you know, if you're absolutely maximizing the chance of 4 blazes to spawn every single spawn, you want to break every single block in the 9x9 area, you know, 4 blocks in every direction of the spawner. The problem with that obviously is, like I said, blazes are going to start falling off the edges. So a lot of top runners, a lot of world record runners have been crafting a fishing rod. So you can actually use a fishing rod on blazes. I'm not very good at it, but you can pull in blazes when they're falling off of edges and that kind of thing. Again, not very good at it, but it does work. So at these spawners, do the same thing. Either do the full blaze bed like this, quite fast, or you want to do the high bed. And then obviously punch out all the fires as soon as possible. When the blazes start spawning in, if they fall off the edges, or if they get too close to the edges, you want to pull them in away from the falls so that you can still get their rods. Alright, so if you've been particularly unlucky at the Bastion, you haven't got the fire resistance, you should obviously still blaze bed. Like, it's going to be a fair bit scarier since you can, you know, you're going to take a lot of these fireballs and everything, but there's a good system that I made a long time ago. You know, obviously you want to use a shield where you can, but shields aren't the most reliable thing, or sometimes you can't even make a shield. So get in, do your blaze bed as usual. Typically it feels easier to do it in your closed spawners, but anyway. Do your full blaze bed as usual, plug in any of the lava, and what you want to do, excuse me, is you want to make a 2x2 of nether bricks like this. You don't want it too far back, you don't want it too far forward. You know, you could put it here, this works. There's not an exact spot to do it at, but you want to make this kind of 2x2 roof thing. Oh my god, look at these guys walking in. And what you can do now is stand back. Hopefully these guys will get line of sight on me. Looks like they're not doing it. Oh, there we go. They've got line of sight. And their fireballs will come in and they'll hit this wall, this kind of roof shield thing. So this is a really good way to manage blazes if you don't have fire res and you don't have a shield. So shields aren't the best. Sometimes you'll still get hit with fireballs, so I don't totally recommend using shields all the time. Alright, so the way that spawners work is that they're more likely to spawn blazes closer to the spawner than further away from the spawner. Another way that they work is that blazes can spawn on exact Y levels, you know, on exact elevations. So they could spawn at, you know, 81 or 82. They could spawn at 83 as well here. Any of these three Y elevations, they'll spawn exactly on those Y levels. But for the X and Z, all of these other spaces, you know, around the spawner in every direction, they don't spawn at exact coordinates. Now what that means is that if you clear out one block, it doesn't really contribute to exactly, I don't know how to say this, but you the strategy is that you want to clear as much area as you can. Because a blaze could spawn, or it could attempt to spawn on the corner of these 4 blocks. And even if you've got 3 of the blocks cleared out, if it tries to spawn perfectly in the corner of the 4 of them, and one of them is still there, it'll fail to spawn. So what you need to do is clear out as much area as you can, obviously in a time efficient manner. So the best way to do that is with a blaze bed. You can clear out large areas at once. But when you're breaking out any remaining blocks, like for the front side, there's often quite a few remaining blocks back here at the back. You want to maximize the area, not just, you know, like we know that the blazes are more likely to spawn close to the spawner, but it turns out that there's actually a better strategy for clearing out blocks, since we know that blazes can spawn, you know, on the edge of blocks and corners of blocks and that kind of thing. So they don't spawn at exact coordinates. They don't spawn exactly in the middle of blocks. So what Sharpie's got here, Sharpie Man 20, he did all the statistics on the chances of getting 6 rods in 60 seconds, and he's also made this little chart thing here. This is the order of blocks that you should break in order to maximize the amount of blazes, you know, in a time efficient manner, because obviously you have a pickaxe when you're breaking out all these blocks. And you should only do this as an absolute backup strat. If you've got enough beds, you know, if you've got 5 beds and you've done a 4 bed in practice, I'd really strongly recommend that you blaze bed. Blaze bedding saves so much time in runs that it just can't be something that you skip on at all. So only, you know, if you've got 4 beds and no anchors or that kind of thing, this is the only time that you should only break out blocks, break out the floor. Breaking out the walls and everything is so important for getting blazes to spawn that you should blaze bed every single time. And mining out the blocks is just slow in general. It's very likely while you're mining out all these blocks that cycles of blazes are going to spawn. So that's the real benefit of blaze bedding, is that it breaks a whole lot of blocks at once. And then once you punch out the fires, hopefully by then the next cycle is spawned with, you know, as maximized rates as you could get in the moment. Because we're trying to maximize the amount of blocks broken before the next cycle of blazes attempts to spawn. So if you've got no choice, you've only got 4 beds and no anchors, that kind of thing. If you've got no choice, this is the only time that you should be breaking out only the floor. But this is the order that you should do it in. I'm just going off of the guide shown on screen. Where is it? It's that one. Oh, I skipped 10 and 11 like an idiot. But you get the idea. And this really, again, having all these walls here and everything is it's going to really hinder the amount of blazes that can spawn every cycle. So if you can blaze bed, you should blaze bed every single time. So I'll just run through some of these spawners that I find and kind of what strategy I'd do if I was in a real run. So at this spawner, there's quite a lot of ground here. It's not too far down, it's kind of far, you know, but I feel like if I was fighting some blazes and if the rods fell off, I'd probably be able to get down and then get back up in time. So I think in this situation, I'd probably do one of the full blaze beds. Either this one or this one. And then, you know, it's kind of inevitable that a lot of the blazes are going to fall off. Either what I can do is use the fishing rod, hook the blazes back in, or just, you know, it should be pretty manageable if a blaze or a rod falls down here, that I should be able to get it. At this spawner, it's very open on both sides. I think this ground it's quite far away, especially at the back here. Like if a blaze or rod fell down here, it'd take a really long time for me to get back up. So I think in this situation, depending, you know, if I'm going for wood record attempts or not, I think if I was going just for a sub 15 or something, sub 20, I'd probably just frontside here. And then from here, obviously break out the fires, probably just frontside at this spawner. I think it'd be, you know, if a blaze fell off the side, it'd be very annoying. And I'm not very good at the fishing rod, so I'd rather frontside this spawner, knock blazes into the back wall. Alright, and at this spawner, I can't see any lava on either side of it. If I get in here as well, once I kill out the blazes, you can see down here, there's actually a bit of a hole there, so that's a bit concerning. But I'd probably still full blaze bed here. But here, since it's enclosed, place a block on top. I'd probably, in a run, I'd do that bit here. Looks like this wasn't such a big deal after all. I thought this would maybe be falling down, but looks fine actually. This one as well, enclosed. Can't see lava on the sides. Once I've killed the blazes, check these sides. This looks totally fine to me. So again, high bed. So here's another spawner. Check on this side, there's actually a drop that goes all the way down to lava. Even though there's some terrain here, I think in this situation I'd still do frontside. Because of the lava on the side here, I mean some blazes could end up here, but blazes are going to fall out the back here if I do a full blaze bed. So I think in this situation I'm just going to do frontside. That'd probably be what I do in a real run. This spawner here looks fairly enclosed. Look on the side. There's actually a bit of a drop here, so that's a bit concerning, but I don't think it'll impact the spawning at all. There's a bit of a drop there as well. Well, not the spawning, the fighting. I think in this situation, since I can't really tell if there's going to be lava back there, I don't know, I'd be pretty cautious about it actually. There's a chance where if I break out this back wall, there could be blazes that fall out the back. So if I was feeling particularly cautious about this run, if I wanted to play pretty safe, probably the safe play would be to frontside of the spawner, just because I'm not sure if once I break out those back blocks, there's going to be blazes falling out the back.
Raven's Blop has gifted a sub to J Rose Alive.
But if I was, you know, trying to save the pace, if the pace wasn't that good, then I'd probably do a high bed here. Looks like it was the correct play in the situation as well. No blazes are going to fall back here and, you know, fall into lava. It's pretty lucky with this spawner.